Hey everybody, Tom Foster on the Legal Marketing Edge, here today with Marketing Director Mike Knademan.
Hi everybody.
And we're here talking about a new topic. Well, maybe not new to some of you, but probably most of you have never even heard of this. We're talking about Facebook graph search, which is new. And it's really the whole, Facebook is going after search, Google's going after social. These two juggernaut companies are fighting each other for world domination. And us as consumers and businesses are trying to keep up with what's going on. So Mike, why don't you tell us what is Facebook Graph?
Well, Facebook Graph is Facebook's internal search tool. And whereas Google is keyword-based for their search engine, Facebook's graph search is what's called semantic-based. So it bases the entire search results off of what it thinks that you are looking for, whereas Google's search engine is completely keyword-based. As of right now, of course, we've heard murmurs about that maybe going away, but for the time being, it's very keyword-based.
Tell me a little bit more about, where does the term graph search come from?
Graph search comes from a term that was actually coined in 2002 by a Harvard student, and it comes from social graph. And that's something that Mark Zuckerberg, who is, of course, another Harvard alum, has latched onto. And the social graph is one person's connection to everybody else out there on the internet. So it's kind of like the Kevin Bacon game, the 6 degrees of separation that gets you back to Kevin Bacon. It's the same sort of concept, but for social media. So what you have is you can have John Smith, who's connected to Jim, who's connected to Sally, who's connected to the nth degree, and it all circles back to John Smith.
It's very interesting because it is such a different, when you were showing it to me, it's such a different environment to find information. It looks good so far. I mean, it's very elegant the way it is.
It's very user-friendly already, and like you said, it's already in beta, so it's still in the testing phase. It's only been out since January of 2013, and because it's in beta, it's been a limited release. So they're starting to release it more and more to more and more people. There's actually a waiting list right now to get on. But once you have access to it, it absolutely changes the way that you're going to use Facebook. It takes away that need for, if you want to do a search, for you to go open up another tab or another window. You can do the search directly in Facebook using Facebook's graph search tool.
And instead of going to Google.
Instead of going to Google, instead of having to, like I said, go to another page, open that other tab, it eliminates one of those steps.
It's interesting because you look at Google Plus and their social platform, very much like Facebook is today. And Facebook, the beta that I've seen, that we've looked at, is very cool.
Well, it's phenomenal. I mean, it bases everything off of not only what graph search, because it's semantic, thinks that you're looking for, but it draws into account things that your friends have liked, that you're friends with on Facebook, as well as friends of friends. So it even brings in that third connection in to try to get you the answer to the question that you've asked, or try to get you the information that you've been looking for.
Doesn't it make you just kind of wish that Google stuck with organic search?
A little bit. I mean, they're going to try to one-up Facebook again. And my big fear with that is that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Which affects businesses.
Yep.
So what do you like so much about graph search, Mike?
It is a phenomenal marketing tool. It's so hard nowadays to get a really focused marketing list. And with Facebook Graph, what you can do is you can search for, say, if you're a maritime attorney. You can go out and you can search for people who work in the maritime field. And you can see what their likes and interests are. And then you can target those in the content that you have on your website that you're taking and putting on your Facebook business page. So you're blasting that radius out there, and you're trying to, of course, get those people to go to your Facebook business page and then learn more about your firm and end up going to your site and at the end of the day, hopefully hiring you.
Well, that's interesting. Is it really driving people to your website, or is it driving people to their Facebook page?
It can actually do both. There are options in graph search when you enter the query where you say, for instance, attorneys in Alexandria, Virginia. And it will pop up attorneys who actually live in Alexandria, Virginia. That's where they have listed as their hometown on their Facebook page. But down at the bottom of the search, there will actually be a gray box which will take you to Bing results. It's web results. So you click on that, and you still actually stay in Facebook's platform, but all of the search queries are being sent there from Bing. So the integration with Facebook and Bing is getting taken to a whole nother level as well.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mike, how can attorneys use Facebook Graph?
Well, attorneys can use Facebook Graph to get a better idea of what their perfect client is interested in and what they're looking for. So, for instance, if you're a maritime attorney, you can enter a query that says maritime workers in Houston, Texas. And it will populate the feed with people who have their job description listed as a maritime worker, dock worker, etc., who live in Houston. Then you can look at what their likes are. You can look at even photos of where they've been, where you can kind of discover where they've been working in the maritime sphere. Sometimes they might even have taken pictures of an accident that they were a part of or that they've seen. And you can target those people based on those likes, interests, even photos. So you could say, enter that query, and then when you see that members of the maritime community have put up pictures of an accident that occurred, you can enter in as a Facebook post to your Facebook fan page that an accident happened in the Gulf. Do you have any information or pictures? And then, of course, the idea behind that is to get these people who actually have information on it to contribute and maybe even reach out, go to your website, or contact you directly from the Facebook page, which would be the ideal.
Now, doesn't that mean that, all right, so what is Facebook pulling from? Is it pulling from its own data in Facebook? So those pictures have to be in the Facebook profile.
Yes. Yes, it has to be something that either that person posted or something that that person's been tagged in. So if there was a photo that was put up by one of their friends that they were tagged in, that could potentially pop up as well.
This is big time because whereas Google, you do a kind of search like that, attorneys, maritime attorneys in Houston or whatever, and it's going to pre-decide and give you suggestions, just like the Facebook Graph does. But it's pulling from websites, and it's pulling from all the image collected from all the websites, so it's a vaster choice.
Well, it's pulling from keywords instead of being semantic search based.
That's true.
So because Facebook Graph is semantic based, it's pulling on sort of even more narrow of a field than it would be if it was keyword. You don't have the issues with keyword stuffing that some people are still getting away with. They're going to get punished, but they might still be getting away with it. That's going to fly for Google for right now. But with the semantic search with Facebook Graph, it's my intuition that that's not going to be as big of a problem.
So attorneys can use Facebook Graph, but you better make sure that your profile is updated with photos and all your information. And this is a tough thing for attorneys to swallow, is social media. But as you can see plainly, it's coming, it's here, it's not coming, it's already here. And you've got to understand how to utilize social media, Facebook Graph, to help you and your practice. Now, the next question I have for you is, it's really just a continuation of the last one. What does this mean for attorneys in terms of, what do they need to do in Facebook to attract clients, especially with this graph coming?
Well, optimization of social media has always been important, but now it's even more important. You need to make sure that all your ducks are in a row. Everything from your About section, which of course explains what you do, what your area of practice is, what your specialties are, all the way down to the basics such as your address. Make sure that your physical address is all in order, that if you're in a suite, your suite number's up there.
And we're just talking about your Facebook profile.
Yes.
Are we talking about your personal profile or your business profile?
We're talking about both.
Okay.
You need to make sure that all of the information that you're broadcasting out there is as accurate as it can possibly be. Because the likelihood now of somebody being able to find you through Facebook in order to query you for your services has become even greater. So the last thing you want to do is direct them to, say, an old address that you may have had. And that especially pertains to the business page, because the last thing you want is for somebody to show up for their appointment even after they've contacted you, and they're getting their information on where to meet from Facebook, and the address is wrong and they show up at the wrong office.
Well, what's interesting too, though, is sure, there's a lot of things that you can do to attract clients, but also you can go out and find them
Yes.
this way too. Now, I'm not saying, for attorneys to go out and, ambulance chase or whatever. I don't mean to offend anyone. But, there are ways that you can utilize that same graph data to look for your perfect clients.
It's all about finding your perfect client.
It's all about connecting people the right way.
Right. And while it is entirely possible for you to go out and find, for instance, every maritime worker in your geographic area and go out and try to friend them one at a time, one, that's extremely suspicious. It does kind of cater to the ambulance chasing that you were talking about. But where you can really use it, where the real strength is again, finding those likes and interests that these people have in common and then targeting those events. They might all be interested in the same sort of charitable foundations. You might find a trend there. Or you could find that a lot of them are interested in golf, so you can host a golf tournament. So there are all these small wrinkles that you can do to get better into their community.
It's really a lot of the stuff that we always talk about. We consult with our clients about what they need to be doing, but this is just going to be another tool that will do it effectively, this new Facebook graph that's coming. So it's another way that lawyers can use another tool to attract their perfect clients with Facebook Graph. I know it's still in beta, but are you going to be able to track user data? Like, are you going to be able to see what users are interacting, how they're interacting with your profile and whatnot through Facebook Graph?
Yes, you will. You can actually set up in Google Analytics. There's a small little go-around where you can set up a way to track in Analytics exactly how many people are coming in through Facebook Graph search. So there's a way you can do it there. Also, you should be able to track that traffic through Facebook's own insights, which they have built into their own platform. And this goes back to, well, you should be tracking everything you do marketing-wise. And Facebook Insights, which is very similar to Google Analytics that they have on site, you can actually see when there was a traffic spike when you posted something, and you can go back and you can try to replicate that process as much as possible.
So there's a way that you're going to be able to track this data. Now, it's funny that you said Google Analytics. Until Google Analytics doesn't let you track it in Facebook, but you can always track it with your own server logs and whatnot.
Exactly.
Okay, as you know, Facebook has a very strong relationship with Bing.
Yes, they do. Huge. Really big relationship.
So isn't this kind of cutting in on their turf by providing search within their social media platform? Isn't that what Bing is supposed to be doing for them?
It's actually enhancing Bing's ability, the way I look at it. With Facebook Graph Search, you have, yes, the results that get generated from the social network itself. So things that friends of friends like. But there's still the opportunity to go and get queries from the web.
From the World Wide Web,
Exactly.
which is bigger than
And
just Facebook. Sure.
of course, all those results are getting generated by Bing. So it's strengthening the bond, the co-op between Bing and Facebook. Now, what this means for our clients is that, yes, they need to make sure that everything's copacetic on Facebook now, that everything's all honky-dory. But they need to go back and need to look at their Bing local profiles, make sure that everything's okay there, because if there's any sort of difference between Bing local and the Facebook business page, it's going to set off some alarms as trying to game the system, and you could end up being punished for it, which of course is not what anybody wants.
Well, you want to make sure that all that stuff is
Exactly.
set up
You want to make sure it's all good anyway.
Right. So you look at it like it's a good thing, the Facebook Graph Search coming out and being the search engine, the relationship is still strong after this update.
And the great part is that you don't have to leave the Facebook platform. So you don't have that issue of going and opening another tab, another window, clicking back and forth, forgetting what you went there in the first place, getting distracted. It keeps you all within the Facebook framework.
I think Michael Canadian sold on this Facebook Graph. That's
love
like
it.
the
I
third
think it's
time you
great.
said it's great. I don't have to open up another tab. Like, it's so hard to open up another tab. Hey, whatever. So how do you see Facebook Graph Search impacting traditional search?
Well, you're going to be able to stay within the same platform of Facebook. So what that means is you can enter a search into Facebook Graph, and it will keep you right there. And it makes it more tight-knit, closer, more community-based. So you're not just looking for, say, a restaurant. You're looking for a restaurant that your friends have been to and that they've liked, that they've interacted with. You're not just choosing a lawyer. You're choosing a lawyer that your friends have liked, interacted with, gone and been fans of the business page for that attorney. So it's making the user experience, both online and in the office or the restaurant or wherever it is, more and more important. So that's one way it's affecting it. Also, Google has noticed about a 2% drop in traffic to their search engine directly. And that can be attributed to people doing more and more searches within the social media platform. So there have already been some small changes, some small movement over to searching within social media. And it's also become more and more important to make sure that the in-office and the online experience are copacetic, everything's all good, all happy.
Well, you said a couple things there that are interesting. One is, you stay in one area, and, organic search has been gamed for years with, bad linking, backlinks to put websites over other more relevant websites. So there's a trust factor when it comes to organic search or search on Google. And especially with all the changes that they've just done the last year to integrate their social media platform that has hurt other businesses, legitimate businesses, so they can chase after Facebook and social media. I'm with you about it. When I look at Facebook Graph and I think about, how real it is, it's real because these are real people. Now, sure, you can go on Facebook and make up fake profiles and all that kind of stuff and call yourself something else, but...
Well, there's always a way to cheat, but at the end of the day, you get caught doing it and you get docked anyway.
Yeah, but no matter what, this is closer to reality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's feeding off of the same thing that Google's trying to do with reviews.
Right.
Where they're feeding that into
and
the
the plus
Zagat
ones,
store.
they're trying to do the same thing, and Facebook already has that data, and they're like, oh, okay, really? All right, then we can play the same game much faster than you. And people buy from their friends, or not from they don't buy from their friends, but they buy based on what their friends recommend.
Mm-hmm. On the endorsements of their friends.
Right.
That's huge. Facebook's taking all of the data that's just been hoarding for years and years and putting it and using it in this Facebook Graph search tool where they're able to satisfy your needs for filing a query, a search query, right within their own platform. And it's all based off of what you've liked in the past, what your friends like, what your friends of friends have liked, what people in your geographic area have liked. So it's massive as far as trust building for businesses.
So the message for you attorneys out there and doctors and other professionals out there is that this is real. This social media as a platform for people to find your services is not going to go away. It's only going to become stronger and stronger, like many things that we've talked about in the past. So you've got to pay attention. You've got to make sure that your profiles are squeaky clean. Of course, we can help do that. There's other social media consultants that can help do that. There's lots of buttons to push to make all that perfect. But this is, you already said 2% already, and it's still in its early infancy. When this thing launches, you're going to see a big drop, I bet you, in Google search, especially the way that Google's messing with the algorithm all the time. It's really hard to keep up with what they're doing. It's very frustrating for us as a web marketing company. Okay, so Mike, where can attorneys sign up for Facebook Graph? Does it cost anything? What do I need to do as an attorney to sign up for it?
It is completely free. The only thing that you need is a Facebook profile. You cannot have Facebook Graph Search unless you have a Facebook profile. And in order to really capitalize on Graph Search for your business, you should also have a Facebook business page. But in order for you to have access to Facebook Graph, in its beta form right now, is you type in facebook.com/graph, or you can even type Facebook Graph Search into Google. You can twist the knife there a little bit, or Bing. And it will direct you to the page where there's a nice big green button that says sign up for Graph Search. You click on it and you will effectively be put on the waiting list for it. And the turnaround time for getting off the waiting list is actually pretty reasonable. It's pretty quick. So you should be up and operational in no time once you click that nice green button.
They're just trying to track.
They're trying to see how much buzz is being generated from it. I mean, if this was something where they introduced it and nobody decided to take the plunge, then they might, can it. But as of right now, there are already hundreds of thousands of people who don't just have it enabled for Facebook, but they're actively using it as well. And of course, they're tracking all this data.
So, attorneys out there, you need to be paying attention to Facebook graph search. We told you how to get there. Go to Facebook. You can go to Facebook, type in graph search. It'll tell you how to get there. You can go to Google, type in Facebook graph search. Google might tell you how to get there. Go to Bing. Anyway, it's pretty simple. Get involved. Don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid of these new technologies. These new technologies are going to provide you business. So that is the way to get to Facebook Graph.
And it's a huge opportunity because it's in beta. There's a lot more room for you to play around in there and find out how best to use it for your firm, your practice. So now is the time to get in there while it's in its infancy, so you can go in there and hell, you might even have a little bit of fun with it.
Well, I was checking it out, and it's very cool. And the stuff that you are going to be able to do with it as a marketer for your law firm is pretty neat. And I was just I had like 5 or 10 ideas just when we were looking at it.
Mm-hmm. The data is endless. It's all out there. They've been hoarding it for years. Now they're releasing all this overflow of information to the public. So it's pretty cool.
Well, if you're an attorney and you're struggling with your social media, your Facebook profile, you don't know what a Facebook page is, profile page, business page, all that stuff, we understand. We hear it all the time. We help attorneys all the time with this. Give us a call, see if we can help you. Tom Foster here at the Legal Marketing Edge with my guest, Mike Knademan.
It was great being here,
Thank you very
Tom.
much, Mike.
A lot of fun.
And we'll see you soon.
Take care, guys.